What's up guys, my name is Justin Odisho, and in this video, I might piss off a couple people because we're talking about the top 5 most overused editing effects that you might want to think twice about before using in 2017. So this entire list is just my personal opinion. I've been doing these live streams lately where I'm watching dozens and dozens and hundreds of your edits and reviewing them. And these are the top 5 things that have stuck out to me that are super trendy, kind of cliche in my opinion, and are definitely getting overused. So before we begin, just know I'm not above any of these. I'm guilty of most of these, if not all. And on top of that, I'm probably the one that taught you, because a lot of these cliche and trendy effects are some of my most popular tutorials. So I'm really the one to blame at the end of the day. So go ahead and put your blame on me. No worries. So this list is going to be somewhat in order from least to greatest offenders. And let's get started with overused effect number 5, which is, I guess, not as much of an effect as more of a trend, is just using the same songs and the same type of music and mood as everyone else. So 2 that I can think of off the top of my head are like Casey Neistat-ish type of chill hop music, and number 2 is like Alessia Cara type of house music. Now there's nothing wrong with either of those 2 things, but oftentimes when you see them used, they're used to suggest the same type of image and they're edited in the same exact type of way. And I can't really blame you. It is hard to come across free, non-copyrighted music. A lot of it does sound like Casey Neistat-ish music. However, that would have to be a whole separate video on its own on where to find good music and where to find free music. But just consider that unique music and a song that maybe a lot of people didn't hear in someone else's video already is probably going to be a really good start to set your video apart and make it stand out. But let's move forward into that, because that's not too big of an offender. It's more of just something to think about. And I needed to have 5 things on this list. But number 4 is cliche shots. And when I say cliche shots, I mean getting the same footage that everyone else is. And the number 1 biggest offender that I can think of in this is recording your feet walking, like trying to be epic. I've definitely done this. I think everyone does it at first because it's hard to hold the camera up to your face if you're vlogging. So you naturally just have the tendency to hold it at your hip and say, oh, I'll record my feet. I'm walking on the street. It looks cool. And maybe put it in slow motion. Unless you're walking like on the edge of a cliff, or you're wearing some really sweet sneakers, or you're riding on a skateboard and everything's moving under you. Most of the times, that cliche epic shot of you walking with your feet, in my opinion, it's overused. I don't want to see it. Skip past it. Okay, number 3 on this list, we're getting more into particular effects now, is Luma fades and sky replacement type of effects. This got super popular this year. I've definitely made a couple of tutorials on it. Gotta give the people what they want to see. But man, it's just become like something that, in my opinion, it just never really looks good. Especially the harsh type of Luma fades. Luma keying is something that's meant to key out things based on brightness or darkness, and it can achieve some interesting results. But it seems like everyone's using it as a transition nowadays, where something just kind of harshly fades into the other. And especially when they're replacing the sky of something with like a weird starry night scene, and there's a lot of faded, like you could still see the original image. There's just a lot of like harshness to it, in my opinion. And it's just super overused now. I guess when I first saw it, or when people first saw it, it was a really creative way to use the Luma key mask. But now it's just kind of overused, which is why it's on this list. All my opinion. Remember, still all my opinion. Number 2 on this list, really moving up here, is the M31 Lut specifically, and in general, that super contrasted, super saturated teal and orange look. It's specifically the M31 Lut. It's a free Lut online, and everyone seems to use it. Just crank it up, and it's not anything intrinsically bad with the look or the color. It's a nice Hollywood color, but now every time I see it, I see the teal sky that comes with it, and then it's usually paired up with the same type of Alessia Cara music, and Luma fades and the same type of stuff. So as soon as I see it, it's just another signifier that the overall video is going to be kind of trendy, cliche, and overused. So that leads us up into the one thing I haven't said until now, the number one most overused effect, transition, etc., that I think you should really consider twice before using, really make sure that it has a purpose in your video, is zooms. Fake zoom transitions. It was definitely a very cool novelty the first time I saw it. It's one of my most popular tutorials, and I'm thankful for that. I've gotten a lot of subscribers from the zoom in and the zoom out and all of these effects that I've mentioned, really. But as the months have gone by and I've been doing these live streams where I watch and review people's edits, it seems like every single person is throwing so many zooms in their videos and all these trendy effects and transitions that it just becomes distracting for the end video. I have to ask most of the time, like, what are you zooming into? Usually a lot of times it's zooming into things that do not need to be zoomed into, like it'll zoom into a person just to come back and to be the same shot. So you're getting some cool like movement, but it doesn't help in any way to tell the story. The thing that I found and the thing that I always believe is that if you just let the cinematography do the work, just with some hard cuts, just leave it be at cuts, less is more. It'll be less distracting. Your shots will speak for themselves. Some nice subtle color grading will speak for themselves. And then if you ever do decide to do a trendy or impactful transition, it will have a lot more power maybe at the peak of the song or the peak of the music. So that's my quick little list here of the top 5 most overused editing effects that I've personally seen. Remember, it's all fun. Editing is just fun. It's an art form. Don't take anything I'm saying too personally or too seriously or get offended by any of this. Again, my opinion is just my opinion, and I'm also guilty of most of these things. That's how you learn. I just think that I've probably had to watch way more videos than the average person would ever watch. So take my advice for what you will from my experience. If you're just probably showing these things to your friends who don't ever look at edits and they're not in this whole niche space, they've probably never seen them before, and it's the coolest thing in the world to them. So hopefully this video was informative, entertaining, at least gave some things to think about to you guys, and you can start to craft your own style and kind of stray away from some of these trendy effects, hopefully. If you guys did enjoy this video, leave a like on it below. Let me know what you think in the comments. What do you think are becoming cliche effects? And go follow me on Instagram at Odisho if you want to stay up to date with me, get notified for the live streams, all that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I didn't piss anyone off or too many people off. And once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.